This is the second video where I'm trying to repair this Wells Gardner K7000 monitor chassis. In the first video, I replaced all the capacitors and the horizontal output transistor. And previously, what was going on with this particular arcade monitor was it was popping the fuses constantly. It wasn't ever turning on. It wasn't doing anything. It would just pop fuses and smoke. So after replacing all of those things, and I replaced the flyback as well. It is now running the degaussing coil properly, and it actually has voltage. But I think the voltage is too high. It's supposed to be like around 120 off of B+, and it was putting out too high of a voltage. It was around 143 or something like that. So what we're going to do today is replace the voltage regulator. It's an STR30130. So it's STR30130. So I'm going to get started with that, but I'm going to be continuing to put out videos like this in the future. And if you guys want to see my videos or whatever, you can subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll stay updated with everything I'm doing. And of course, if you like the video, please click the like button. So anyway, so I'm going to switch the camera over here, and you can kind of see the monitor chassis here. Of course, all the new capacitors and the new flyback and the new horizontal output transistor right here. But this is the part I'm going to be replacing today. It's right here in this corner. So I've got a new one that I've ordered, and I'm going to go ahead and replace the insulator as well. So this goes in between this and the metal portion over here, and then I've got some new thermal grease. So in order to start this process, I've got my desoldering station heated up, and I'm going to remove the solder off the bottom of the board and pull the old one out. So I'm going to get started with that. Just going to flip it over here. So this is the area that I'll be working with. So what I typically like to do is try to, first of all, clean the desoldering station tip. Make sure it's nice and shiny like that. And I usually put a little bit on the tip to kind of get the other solder that's on the board started. I'll put it on here and twist it around. I was actually looking at the data sheet for this voltage regulator, and one of these pins does nothing. One of them's ground. So even though there's 5 pins on this voltage regulator, only 4 of them actively do anything. So typically then I'll take my fingernail or a pair of pliers or something, and just kind of make sure that the pins are popped loose. Just kind of grab them and pull them over, make sure that they're loose. And then let's flip it back over and see if once I disconnect it, it'll just fall out here. Screw. And there it goes, came right out. And here's the old mica sheet. Now I've got a new one, so we're just going to replace this one. But I do need to clean up the area where this was attached. As you can see, it's got the old thermal paste in there. So what I normally do is I use some of this CPU cleaner. Just put a few drops on there. Should be able to wipe it away clean. Okay, so now it's removed, everything's cleaned up from there. I'm going to start applying the new thermal paste to the insulator. So the point of the thermal paste is not to put so much on there that it globs out or anything. It's just, you need to put just enough to remove any kind of air pocket between the device that you're attaching and what you're attaching to. So you don't have to put just a whole bunch on there. You can kind of spread it out. It does a pretty good job without there being a ton of it in the way. What I'm going to do is put the screw in there to hold it in place. Try to line it up with the holes. Make sure that the insulator is on there pretty straight. Looks pretty good. When I tighten it down, it should hold pretty good in place. I'm just going to kind of try to tighten it down. There we go. Didn't get too much thermal paste on me today. Now I just need to solder it back in. So I'm going to move this desoldering station aside. So I'm hoping that once I plug this back in and go test it, that what's going to happen is I'm going to have the proper voltage and the monitor is just going to turn on. I'm not anticipating any other issues, but I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I've already replaced everything that I can think of on this chassis, so we'll just have to see what happens now moving forward. See if I can get a good close look to make sure that everything is soldered in there properly, and just run a quick toothbrush over it. Looks pretty good. So I like to clean everything whenever I'm done, just to make sure everything looks good. So I'll take some isopropyl alcohol and usually use 99%. It's been hard to come by since the corona stuff's been going on lately. Clean things up, make it look nice. And then I'll just make sure I don't have any shorts on anything. We'll be good to go. Go test it real quick. Okay, looks good. So I'll give this a test and hopefully be able to do an update real quick. Be able to bring the phone out there. Let's go test it. I'm out here in the garage. You'll have to forgive the mess out here, but basically here's my cabinet. As you can see, right here I've got the board in here. Everything's hooked up. Got it plugged in, and I've got my voltage meter here. I'm going to go ahead and set it to DC so I can check the B plus on this side and see what it's going to do. Okay, so I heard the degaussing coil turn on, and let me look back here. Oh, yep, I've got some neck glow. That's good. It's the first time I've seen that. So that's awesome. Let me see if I can check this voltage. Just absolutely electrocuting myself here. Okay, it is showing 130.2. So I've got 130.2 volts. I've got some net glow, and let me go get an arcade board hooked up to this and see if we get anything on the screen. Okay, so I've got just a 161-in-1 cartridge and just a one slot Neo Geo board I'm going to test with, because I know this board is good. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. We'll see if we have a picture here. Hey, it's working. Okay, so it looks like some adjustment needs to be made. There's a lot of empty border here, but we can figure that out. The good news is that it is working and everything looks great on it. It's hot in that garage, I'm sweating, but anyway, thank you for watching. Next time I'm going to be working on getting my 4-slot working. I have a 4-slot that goes with that cabinet, and I've got to replace capacitors on it, make sure it's functioning. So now that the screen's working, I'll start hooking that machine up and testing it, and then replacing capacitors and everything on it. So we'll see you next time.